What in the absolute fluff did we just witness last night? And I don't even know. I really don't even know the answer to that question. So last night we saw something that has not happened in 70 years. It hasn't happened since 1976, which is insane to say out loud because I'm actually surprised this does not happen more often. But pretty much what this is, and shout out to Long Bully Stick here for posting the NFL rules. This is considered a free kick, okay? So there's a couple ways you can get this free kick. Number one, stipulation has to be either the half is ending or the game is ending, and you fair catch the ball. Now, if the half is ending or the game ending and you fair catch the ball on a punt, you are able to kick the ball from where you fair catch the ball. So you fair catch it, right? And even though you're like, well, wait, you fair caught it, game over or half over, no. Because the team can opt and say, we'd like to kick the ball. And if a team says they like to kick the ball, they get one untimed down where they kick the ball. They'll be able to kick it from wherever they fair caught it from. Now, keep in mind, they are not allowed to huddle up. They're not allowed to go. The offense is not allowed to go out there on the field. This is what ends up happening right here. Now, this situation got even more crazy because there was a 15-yard penalty, which was fair catch interference, which puts the ball 15 yards forward and also puts it in field goal range. Now, anyone can do this. This hasn't happened since 1976, but at any time, someone could do this. The problem is, normally, when it's before halftime, or again, it's the end of the game, and if you did fair catch the ball with time expiring, you're probably not opting to kick a field goal 75 yards out. So, for example, if they didn't do the kick interference stuff before half here, this field goal would have been 57 plus 15, which would have been a 72-yard field goal if they would have fair caught the ball. And they would not have kicked this. In no way would they have kicked this. With a 72-yard field goal, they wouldn't have kicked it. They would have went to halftime, no big deal. But because of the fact that the guy ran into the punt returner, that put it 15 yards closer. And again, anyone can do this. It's a very rare situation that would result in this happening because it has to be, again, the perfect scenario where you're in field goal range. So, again, the reason why I'm surprised this didn't happen before, or again, hasn't happened since 1976, is like you would think, let's say, for example, before halftime, you punt the ball out of your own 1 yard line, right? Out of your own 1 yard line, punting the ball because you got backed up, no time left, clock expires, you fair catch it at the 50, 67-yard field goal, right? So you would think like there would be a scenario where this would happen more than just this scenario right here. But again, like I said, it hasn't, which is crazy to say that. Now, here's another crazy fact, okay? And this is why this probably hasn't happened. So, there's no line, right? The holder right here, he holds the ball. Everyone lines up like it's a kickoff, except in the kickoff, it's a little bit different because the guy's a little bit farther down. So, nobody can block it. But here's the fun fact. There is a kick returner. There's a kick returner back here. So let's say you're like, oh, well, I just want to attempt the 72-yard field goal. Why not? Well, the team, while they can't block it, they can't line up the defense to stop it, they can have a kick returner on the down the field. So if you kick it 72 yards and you're 5 yards short and you just did it for the heck of it, well, this kick returner can return that ball. And that's a fair play. And they can return it for 6 and score a touchdown. So again, this is why it's so rare, because the situation have to be in this perfect order for anyone to ever try it. I'm just very surprised, in my opinion, that no one in the last 70 some odd years, what is that, 24 plus 20, actually wait, hold up. That was 20, it's 24 plus 24, which is 48 years. I said 70, excuse me. It's 48 years has not done this. Because I feel like in all the games that have been played in the last 48 years, there's not one time where someone has punted the ball out of their own end zone at the end of a half. And then, you know, like punt the ball in the own end zone at the end of the half, and then someone fair catches it to the 50. I mean, again, but then you also have to have a kicker that you trust can make a 67-yard field goal because, again, in the end, somebody can return it. So if that's the case, somebody can return the ball, and now you're in a really lock and loaded bad space, right? So, again, interesting. Situation, I will say, you know, we'll probably never see again. And I could realistically say that because last time it was performed was 48 years ago. So, probably not something we're ever going to see again. But in the end, they got a field goal. What's funny is, right, this whole situation gave them a field goal. They got 3 points. The final score ended up being a 7-point game because the Broncos had to kick a field goal in the end and go for an onside kick to even have a chance to tie the game because they were down by 10. If they don't make this field goal, well, now they're down by 7 on the final drive, and they could have went for a touchdown to tie the game. But instead, obviously, situations happen. This ends up being a very important situation in the game, which all the time I feel like as football fans, you know, when your team goes ahead and like calls timeouts before halftime, and you know, the team clearly is just running the ball, trying to go to halftime, right? And the other team starts calling timeouts. This is why you do that. Like, this is why you call those timeouts and you try to get the ball back. Even if it's going to give you maybe 1 second or maybe less than 1 second, you never know. You can get a block punt. You could get a bad punt snap and the ball could go over the guy's head. Or you could, again, have a really good return and return it for 6. Or this situation. So this is more reasons why special team coaches, you know, they're like, hey, listen, we're not going to let this ball go to halftime because one play can change a ball game. And this one play changed the ball game and potentially could put the Bengals in the playoffs. So crazier things that has been done. Tell me down below your thoughts, opinions. Who day, boys? Who day?